packing crates, like Volvo used to do here on the waterfront.
Okay.
You know, the vehicles would come in a packing crate, and then the local guys would assemble them, use some local material, and each country has to, you know, designate what they require. And anyway, this one was assembled in New Zealand, and it's a pickup truck. So
I thought it had a fin on the back. It was a pickup truck.
so they're actually quite useful.
Well, look at that now, would you? And they got a supercharger on it. Is
Right.
it? What?
Yeah. Now I should quickly say it didn't come from the factory like that.
Okay.
So it's only 1,300 cc's.
Well, it worked because I said, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Well, the supercharger is bigger than the engine.
Yeah.
So it's the penultimate Series A engine, not particularly powerful, about 45 horsepower, something like that.
With that on it, it's
Oh, no.
45 now. So now what?
About 70.
Okay. So now she really works.
Actually, it works very well. Yeah, it's pretty low gear, being a working truck. It's got a fairly low ratio rear end in it, but yeah, it's a 4-speed.
That's surprising.
So it chugs along quite well. When it arrived here, my brother had painted it with a vacuum cleaner,
I've heard a lot of that.
and it was white.
Yeah.
And
Did he do a good job?
no.
I had to ask.
So actually Anthony
Yeah.
painted this one as well.
Okay. He's done a fine job. I mean, let's face it. The
And
paint-
actually,
the
his
paint
guys,
looks-
his guys
Yeah.
do nice work.
Yeah, the paint looks awesome.
So yeah, this one took probably 5 or 6 years to write, maybe longer than that, to put that together. But anyway,
I see you have something on the door. Is it a work truck of some sort?
Oh, it is. Yeah,
that-
you can look that up if you like.
So it's somebody's work truck. Can I lift this right up? Check this side.
Yeah.
See what it looks like.
It's, you can see the tonneau covers.
Okay.
Well.
Something like a ram charger almost.
Well, it's what they call a ute.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, if you look at some,
well, motors, holdings.
yeah. So it does act as a work truck as well. So it's I don't know if you noticed when you came in, but there's a cupola sitting on the roof
Yes.
of the building. You know, weather vane cupola.
Yes, I've seen it.
I built that down at my place at St Margaret's Bay.
Yes.
And had to get it back here. And it with half an inch to spare on each side, it sat in the bed of the truck. Yeah, so it earns its keep. It's quite a useful device. When we put some stuff upstairs, had to carry a shower unit and threw that in the back. It's had all kinds of lumber thrown in it. So
Right hand steer.
yeah, well, it's New Zealand assembly, of course. So yeah, everything's right hand steer down there.
New Zealand's quite far away, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Quite far away, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been there yet. I don't know.
Oh, you should.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, there you go.
John, you been to New Zealand? You haven't got their sand yet. John collects sand of the world.
Oh yeah?
John does.
Oh, he'd have a field day down there.
Oh well, you got quite a bit of sand, didn't you? Got quite a bit of sand.
Because of the different colours?
Yeah, just something
You'd
we
be
started
surprised.
years ago.
How many different colors? What the sand like? He got it in his bathroom downstairs, and it's just sands from every place he's ever been. There's it's crazy what it all looks like. Every sand looks different.
Oh.
And
So
some of
how
that
do you
sand's
keep it?
black.
Vials?
Yeah, just a little glass bottle.
Yeah.
Mark the date and where it's from.
I've got something in the office you might want. There's some guy gave it to me. It looks like gold or diamonds all ground up or something. Let's see if I've still got it. Anyway, we digress. This one you'd probably get a kick out of. This is Australian. Although actually I did buy it from a fellow in New Zealand. But it's an Australian built gun.
I've only seen them on the internet.
$6 charges. Yeah, it's $6 Hemi.
Now I gotta get down those stairs and go look now. Jeez. This is a school day.
can't even remember how to open the hood.
That's a good thing.
I think it's on that side. This one's right-hand steer, as you can see.
Oh, that's cool. Nice paint on this one is also.
No, it's inside. Excuse me. I'll see if I can squeeze blind. It's
This one's got 2 red lines.
It's a 73. Chrysler Valiant Charger RT. And, of course, that's the vent. That's not going to open the hood, is it?
Got Valiant written up here. It's a heavy 265. It's an RT on road and track. How would that get? Would obviously be shipped here. Would you have shipped it here?
Yeah, I bought it from Morehouse Muscle Colours. They're in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Are you one of those guys that buy a car somewhere and say, "Oh darn, I got to ship that home"? Would you think of that beforehand?
Well, I've done it before. So, anyway, the week after I bought the car, they had a massive earthquake down there, and the port of Littleton, which is where it was dispatched from, was badly affected, and then they had a subsequent earthquake after that. So the timing was rather fortuitous.
Look at that now, would you?
So it's a straight 6. It's 4.2 litres. Triple side draft Webers.
I've never seen. Are they Webers? You said Webers?
Yeah.
Okay, so what CFM would that Weber be? That's an awful big Weber to me.
45s.
So a Harley, so you get a Harley 400.
Oh, you know, I don't know compared with that, but they're
How many CFM would you have in carburation there?
But size-wise, they're 45 DCOEs. I can't tell you. I honestly don't know. All I know is they're gas guzzlers.
Wow.
Given the choice, I wouldn't have them on there.
Okay.
But they are on there. And,
It's a wow factor.
and it does work particularly well.
It's a wow factor. See something like that. Never seen nothing like that before in my life.
Now, this engine was originally going to be used by Dodge commercial vehicles,
Okay.
and they opted not to use it. They shipped it to Australia, and the Americans couldn't get it to work properly. They were unhappy with the vibrations or some bloody thing. So they shipped it off to Australia, and the Australians perfected it. They moved the distributor from the middle of the engine to the back of the engine, did a whole bunch of other stuff, and they got it working well. So they put it in a good many of some of these cars you get with V8s in as well. You get 340s in them,
Yes.
but these things were quicker than the V8.
Well, I enjoy looking at the carburation unit, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because you don't see it. You know,
well, that's
I know
true.
what a V8 looks like, but
Yeah.
I've never seen a
Yeah, they're pretty impressive.
straight 6 with an intake on it like that. Never.
I tried to buy on eBay a set of triple SUs like the Jaguars had.
Yes.
And I was outbid, but I would have rather had the SUs than these.
Okay.
These aren't particularly a road-friendly carburetor. They're great for track work.
Seems like you want to be on it full time. You know, with calibration like that.
You're exactly right.
You want to be on it full
they're,
time.
They're great at WOT, but you know, trying to be tractable with them is not easy. And I can give you some idea. When I start this thing up, no choke, give it a couple of pumps from cold,
Yeah.
and it fires right up. So it's
Yeah.
obviously running richer than it should.
Oh, that thing wants to be worked. That's what it wants. Well, it does. It's got the carburetors on it. It wants to be worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never seen a car like that before. I'm just going to go this way here.
Yeah.
Back out of here.
All right. I'll shut this down.
Have you got an old Ford back there? Is that a Ford with the round top on, or is it Austin?
That's neither actually. It's a Morris.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking about
Let me squeeze through. Actually, well, there is a Ford, but it's this one. It's a 67 Mustang big block.
67 Mustang big block. You like Mustangs
Oh yeah,
just as much as Jaguars?
almost.
Almost. Okay, now I got it. It's close.
This one's got a tri-power on it.
That's obviously not factory, is it? Could be.
No, but I think it was an option, wasn't it? I don't know.
Listen, you're telling. I would never know, and would never tell you that I do know because I don't know. Oh wow, it does look like a factory piece sword, doesn't it?
390. Can't even get the spark plugs out of it.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at that American Motors 390,
Yes.
it's about 2/3 of the size of this.
Okay. I see you get the bar going across. They usually didn't have, like, from factory.
Yeah, that's right.
But that was.
Stops the fenders from doing this.
Yep.
So how do you get the plugs out, Peter?
Don't know, never done it.
No.
Air conditioning. Got
Yeah,
the original
it's-
bag on it. Even
yeah.
got the original battery. Is that the original battery, or is it a original looking battery? Auto light.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I forget where I got this one. Oh, yeah, I bought this on eBay.
you got more. Bought
Yeah.
on eBay.
And I don't regret
The price
it.
was right then.
I don't regret it.
Good.
For the time, it was probably around market. I'd do well on it now if I sold it.
Good.
But I had to do a lot of work to it to tidy up. There's bits missing off it. And
Fastback.
all kinds of stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good looking car.
Fastback.
667 fastback.
Okay.
If I can get.
Queen's car was 68.
Yeah, same
Same style.
same shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this one was the last one they built with the Ford lettering on the front.
Okay.
So 68 never had this.
Yeah, they cleaned that one off, did they not? They kind
Yeah.
of took some stuff off it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Very impressive.
Let me squeeze.
Very impressive. Just even all the pictures on them. I like all the advertisement too, eh? Well done. When I grow up, I'd be able to just like that. When I grow up.
Yeah, it's,
I like the interior.
yeah, it's got a
Oh.
deluxe interior. And
Nice. Look, you can get your sunglasses in there, ready to rock and roll.
oh yeah. Yeah. Got an 8-track in it.
Well, there you go. I gave it an 8-track to my daughter, and they took it to school and they didn't know what it was.
For goodness sake.
How long you had this one, Peter?
15 years maybe, something like that.
I acquired a 62 Ford Galaxie with the 390 6-pack 4-speed from a friend on the mountain. It's not original, but it's it has the same sort of running gear and has the same sort of intake that you got going on the breather and everything. I
Yeah,
noticed,
yeah.
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 And I really like that car. It's the one I want to drive next summer, to be honest with you.
Is that your motorcycle behind you?
Yeah, brand new Harley.
In the box.
In the box.
Wow.
So it's got 7 kilometers on it from when they did the pre-delivery inspection.
Okay. What year?
It's 2003, so anniversary year.
Yeah.
It's a V-Rod. So,
I do know, but I don't know. I know what happened.
well, I'll show you a picture of one because they're gorgeous looking bikes.
Okay.
You know, they're a sculpture. I mean, that's
I'll take your word for it. Everything else is. Take your word for it.
well, this is a sculpture of a sort.
Okay.
It probably,
Do you want me to pull that off?
yeah. Can you reach down and grab that? Yeah, these bloody things are useless. What's going on now? It's got those on it because you can't see behind.
Isn't that cute? Huh? Little paddy wagon. Huh? Little paddy wagon. That's back in the day when they take you to jail, when they Doug? Something like that. The village green. That's cool.
Yeah, I bought that. Oh God. When the hell did I buy this?
1980 something.
Yeah, it must be about
He's
25 years ago, maybe something like that. Bought it out of a Hemmings ad.
You've done well buying cars and beds and not seeing. You've done well.
Well, not as well as Anthony Lewis. He's got the biggest balls of anybody I know because he'll go right out on a limb, and 9 times out of 10 he does very well.
You must be asking the right questions.
I guess so, or it's just luck of the draw. I don't
Yeah.
know. But we drove this back from New York State, and had all kinds of fun doing that. But yeah, it was advertised in the Hemmings and belonged to a musician down there. And a bunch of them had Morrises, and they all had license plates, New York license plates. This one was D minor, and there was A minor and C minor, because they're all Morris minors.
Okay.
So they had all these different musical plates, which I thought was quite comical. But
Right.
anyway, it was bright yellow when we bought it, and it had a big slab of oak for a rear bumper. So so there was quite a bit of work done to it.
Yeah.
We swapped out the engine. We got an MG Midget engine in it now, so it's a slightly bigger engine, a bit more grunt. Different ratio rear end, because it had a very low ratio. It was being a commercial vehicle. It was like a, I don't know,
So
471.
you have some time invested all these cars in. You have some time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Good for you.
You've
Yeah.
had that over 30 years, Peter. You had that on when you were on Iceville Street.
Yeah, you're right. I did. We bought it as a shop truck. That was the whole premise.
I remember that.
And as cars were developing, we bought it as a shop vehicle so that if we had a breakdown, we could go out and throw some tools in the back and fix the vehicle on the road. But you can't do that anymore. So it really wasn't. It didn't get used in the way that it was designed. But for all of that, it's still quite an attractive vehicle.
Yes, for sure.
So,
If nothing else, it's got the cuteness.
Yeah.
It's got the cuteness, has it not?
Well, and rarity.
Yeah.
I think between 1958 and 1961, they imported about 300 of them into North America. So
That's rare enough, isn't it?
There can't be that many left. So
I haven't seen any lately. Haven't seen any lately. No, not at all.
yeah.
Not at all.
Well, they do pop up from
Yeah.
time to time, and they made a pickup version of this as well.
What do you think? Do you think buying cars is a good investment?
If you don't wrap it around a lamppost, it's probably not a bad one.
Okay. Like, I mean, let's face it, a Charger, a Hemi Cuda, was what, $3,500 back in the day, and in 207 they went for what, $2 million. So the luck of the draw, you can
Yeah.
pick the right car.
Yeah.
You'd recognize that machine in the corner,
Oh, an English wheel.
an English wheel.
Yeah.
That was made by a chap that worked for
BIO.
CIO.
Yeah.
He was building a replica of a Mercedes. He needed something to do so he built the machine first of all before he made the fenders.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Kingston, wasn't it? Peter Kingston.
Peter Kingston, yeah,
Yeah.
good guy,
Neat guy,
Yeah.
yeah, real
Yeah.
neat guy.
and quite a craftsman.
Yeah.
Well, if he's building that, he obviously wants to craft it, or
When he retired, he built a plane. Then he got his
That's right,
license.
yeah.
And then he flew it. Yeah. And then he got tired of that. And then he was in a bar one afternoon with his buddy and said, "I want to build a car and like an old Mercedes."
Yeah.
So the guy drew out a picture of it on the napkin. Yeah, that's what I want. So he went and bought a '68 Mercedes, and he stripped it all down. Used the frame and used the engine
And built the car.
drivetrain and built the car in his garage, and this building the tools as he went. The all the chrome on it was drawn out of aluminum plate and polished. You'd swear it was chrome.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
And he used to bend this stuff on to make his bumpers. He went down to the cul-de-sac down the road where there was an Armco barrier, and he formed his bumper over the Armco. Now,
That's using the brain, isn't it? I seen that shape downtown on the sidewalk.
When he had the thing done and he went to paint it, he took it to various shops. Nobody wanted to touch it. It's something like
Yeah.
what you see in my display case there, that
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Okay.
So he that didn't bother him. So he went down to the gas place and got a bottle of argon gas and a thing to gauge the pressure out of it. And what he would do, he'd roll the car out in his driveway when the dew was on the ground, and he'd put a coat of lacquer on it with just using the gas and hooked right up to the bottle. when he had about 18 coats on it, all sanded. That was it. Lovely paint job on it. In his driveway.
Yeah.
So lacquer, yeah, must have been different.
Oh, it was lacquer. Yeah, absolutely.
So how would he put it on?
You using the argon gas
Yeah.
with the line coming off that and a shutdown a regulator
Yeah.
right out to the gun and in the driveway with the dew on the ground. so you get dust in it.
Yeah, you wait till the wind hits towards
Yeah.
your neighbour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before. I painted the roof in everybody's truck that was there. I've done that before.
So what are we down? We're down to two left. I don't think you'll ever guess what, or you probably guess what this one is.
Just a minute now. I want to try to make the guess. Well, it's got wire wheels on it.
Well, imitation was.
I can't say as I do now. Like I don't know the hood with the.
Oh, now you're getting to it.
It's American.
Got me.
Does that tell you anything?
Corsa.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. The Chevy
Yeah. Corvair,
Corvair.
Okay.
665.
Corvair.
First year of the new body shape.
We had a Corvair. We sold it. Van.
Good cars. Well, and trucks and vans and whatever else they made.
I liked it because it was different. It just looked
Yeah.
different.
The van they called the Greenbrier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony had one.
Okay.
I could have bought that $7,000. Didn't.
I don't know what. Well, vans and stuff like that are going quite high now. We talk a 21 window VW van. What are you looking at?
They've gone
Quarter of a million?
ballistic.
Yeah, like-
They're crazy.
Yeah, like it all depends on what van you want to buy. You know, that Corvair van we had, it wasn't not in excellent condition, no, by no means, but it wasn't something to slouch on. If you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't take much to make it look really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they do tend to get rusty. This one's a bit rough around the edges.
So am I.
But it's the Corsa model, so it's 140 horsepower. Have I got that right? 160 cubic inch, 140 horsepower,
That sounds about right.
something like that. Anyway, it's got 4 carburetors. It's an opposed. Well, it's like your Greenbrier engine, opposed 6.
Yes, we had 2 carburetors.
Right, but this
Yeah.
one's got 4, so there's 2 on each side.
You like carburation, don't you?
I do.
So do I.
Yeah,
I love
the way to
carburation.
go.
Like
Definitely the way
underneath
to
the
go.
hood, if it's got more carburation on it, just gives it more to look at.
Yeah.
That's
like
like
it.
the Spider version, isn't it, Peter? With the 4 carbs?
The Spider was turbocharged,
Okay.
so that was another step. This was the highest horsepower of the non-turbocharged cars. Whether it was any more reliable or not, I don't know. Rod McCarthy's got one. He's a Corvair fan. And they are good cars, despite what people like Ralph Nader said about them.
That's just, you know what that is? That's just somebody that did not want it to go forward. That talks like that, saying they're not safe. You know what I mean? And weren't they said that they weren't safe for the road?
Well,
That's
the
right,
Corvair,
yeah.
Nothing in the front of them. So if you hit
Yeah.
something, you're dead meat.
Well, you know, if you fall off a motorcycle doing 100, you're probably dead meat. So
Exactly.
I
it's
think it
all
was-
in perspective, I guess.
It was more when they were going around corners, like Volkswagen, the rear wheels would tend to tuck in.
Yeah.
Particularly if you didn't know how to drive or didn't have your tyre pressures adjusted correctly. And that was the sticking point. 65 they not only changed the shape of the car, but they changed the suspension as well. So the cars actually behaved very well on the road, but by then, you know, Nader had said his piece, and I think 69 was the last year for the Corvair. But they really were good cars. Good looking car. This one's a 2-door coupe. So
You got the good one.
yeah, so it's a nice looking car.
Park Hill Climb, okay. That's the bad thing, the hill climb there.
Yeah, God, this will date me. I went to that.
There you go.
So okay, what's this one?
I'm going to say it's British because the mirrors are up front.
Yeah, I can't lift the cover off them. I can't get at it, I'm afraid. But yeah, you're right. It is British. It's fiberglass.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me anymore. I like fiberglass cars just as well as metal cars somewhat.
Okay.
Fiberglass.
Ah, it's built by a company that used to build limousines.
Come on, Doug, help me out.
I have no idea.
Help me out.
Oh, Doug knows what it is. Anyway, it's a Daimler.
A Daimler?
Daimler. British company. Used to make the vehicles the Queen drove around in.
Okay.
So they were known for their limousines. And,
I wouldn't have known that name to tell you what it was.
well, it started out as part of Daimler-Benz, a German company.
Yeah. Okay.
But at the turn of the, what would it be, the 20th century, it morphed into a British company. They had the selling rights for Daimler and then started producing their own cars, bought out by Jaguar in 1960. So that's why some of the Jaguars have Daimler grills and different pieces on them.
Cool.
This was a complete different departure for them. It came out in '59, and they were trying to expand their share of the marketplace, I guess. So they built a two-door fiberglass-bodied sports car, sitting on a frame that they had plagiarized from a Triumph TR3. Lengthened the wheelbase 4 inches, and then dropped a 2.5 litre Hemi V8 in it of their own design. So it wasn't that powerful, 150 horsepower maybe.
Yeah, you're talking fiberglass car.
Yeah, it didn't weigh
Quite
anything.
scratchy.
Yeah, you're right, it didn't weigh anything. So this is a 1960 version. So I forget when they stopped building them. They only built them for about 3 or 4 years. They only made 2,600. So
Rarities up there.
yeah, so I don't know how many's left. Funny enough, that car came from New Zealand as well. It used to be my brother's car. And all of the factory molds that they used to make the body, they're now in New Zealand as well. So anybody smashes one up and they need a particular body panel, they can send off to New Zealand and get one made. So
That's nice that someone can still get a part for their old car.
Yeah, without having to spend
Yeah.
half a day making it. If you take about 4 steps up there and look up, you'll see a picture of a V-Rod. So you know what a Harley V-Rod looks like.
I'm pretty sure.
There's a light switch just below your left hand.
Which side?
Turn around.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know I know it is, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a V-Rod.
Okay.
They're quite impressive actually.
I remember that when that came out. I remember that.
But they were quite remarkable. And Porsche derived engine, Getrag gearbox, liquid cooled.
Okay.
You know.
I'm just getting into motorcycles, don't know much about them, but I sure do like looking at them.
You ever go to ride them?
Oh, probably not.
Keep the investment, see what happens. See what happens.
You know, I've done some stupid things in my life, and that was one of them.
Do you want to go? You want to try mine? I'll tell you some stupid stuff I've done.
Well, when I bought that bike, our dollar was worth about 60 cents.
Yes.
So the bike was enormously expensive.
Yeah, you lost that part.
I had to wait over a year to get it.
Yeah.
And even more stupidly, I bought some shares in Harley.
Is that a bad idea?
That was a very bad idea.
Okay, I didn't know.
They did nothing but plummet.
Have you still got them?
Oh no, I opted out some time ago, but and then they bounced back up as they do.
Yeah.
But now they're back in the toilet again. So anyway, it's just one of life's lessons, you know, what to do and what not to do.
When we made TV, we bought some stocks in Discovery. We made $600 and we cashed out. Hey, you got a year and made $600 and we cashed out.
Well, I think the point about these things is probably a good one. If you play your cards right and you don't do anything stupid, you can do very well.
I just find generally when you start working on them, there's your profit. You generally have to buy them right and find the next guy.
The trick is to buy them done well, below market.
Yes, I agree.
So,
If
it's
you-
pretty,
if that can
pretty hard to
happen,
do.
It is.
I've done it maybe a couple of times and that's it. I mean, that GT500 is probably a good example, and that's simply because our dollar was so high.
Yeah, generally, when people have them done and done right, you can't get them priced right because it costs them more than it costs them to be.
Of course it does. Yeah.
It's a hard go.
If somebody comes in here and has this piece of crap, and they have this romantic dream about making a wonderful car and say, well, how much will that cost me? We typically say it's going to be $100,000. I mean, that's where.
And if you have any left over, looks good on it. All right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which really happens, of course. But it is an expensive proposition to properly restore a car of any sort. And, you know, if you buy one already done, most people that sell them that have been done lose money on them.
That's what I was thinking, yes.
So that's the time to do it. And now I think that's why Anthony does so well. Not that he buys everything done, but he just has this nose for the marketplace. So,
Yeah.
you know, some people have it, and
Well, if you know the
others
people
not
that
so
are
much.
buying them and then they're interested, it's nice too, you know? You know, if I come across a car like that was priced right, then I might come across you gentlemen and that, you know, see if you might like it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so there we are.
Thank you so much.
They're like your children, are they not?
Yeah, I like them. I do.
Yeah,
I'd be lost without them.
for sure. I would be too, you know?
So, you know, and somewhere in there's probably a common theme running through it somewhere. I'm not quite sure what that is. But obviously, appearance is part of it. I do like a car that looks nice.
Well, you've got some nice ones.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
started the video late, but there's 63 split window Corvette back there. Can you tell us about the coupe up there?
The Daytona coupe.
Yes.
That's a replica of chassis number CSX 2287, which is the first of the Daytona coupes that was built. It was the only one that was built in North America, built in Venice, California. Built initially by a guy called John Olsen, who worked for Shelby in the early 60s. And John built the chassis for that car. And then we commissioned a body to be built for it off a buck that John had built. So the body was built by a fellow called Max Mumby, another fellow from Auckland, New Zealand, which is where John was, by the way, when I bought the car. And Max built the body, all like say acetylene welded, hand formed, no body filler. And our job now is to put it together. We've got some of the stuff. This is the 289 that's going in it.
Okay. Blows me away, you know, something like that here in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual, but I would underline everything by saying it is a replica. We don't pretend that it's anything.
Well, you know what? You can say it's a replica all you want, but someone's handcrafted out of aluminum. How much replica is it? You know, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
there it is.
Well, they only built 6 of them. So John built the first one. The other 5 were built in Italy. And when John left Shelby in '65, he went to work for a fellow called John Wilmot in the UK. And with Shelby's permission, John Wilmot built a replica of the day of a Daytona coupe. And John built the buck for that one from memory. So it's not quite the same shape as a Daytona coupe, but it's pretty close. And if you look at some of the pictures of the Wilmot coupe and then compare it with the Shelby Daytona coupe, there's quite a few subtle differences.
I would have first thought it was fiberglass, you know. You would think it was, but no, you're not playing that game, are you?
No, and
No,
that's
you're not
why
playing that game.
it'll never be painted.
Good for you. And this is an engine that just a 289 that all the internals are done?
Yeah, it's everything's brand new.
Yeah.
It's actually a 306, so we started with a 289 and put some goodies on it. It's probably going to be rating around 350 horsepower, something like that.
Beautiful.
So that part of it's done. We've got the top-loaded transmission. I've got some suspension pieces for it. The rear end is Jaguar, which is very close to the original rear end that AC and Shelby used. And I've got some brake stuff. I've got some rough cast Halibrands that will need machining for the wheels. So I've got a bunch of stuff. I've got the windshields for it, and they had those specially made. So
That's quite something. That impresses me a lot. Well,
yeah.
you know, all this stuff does too, but to see the workmanship on something like that.
It's an interesting vehicle. I actually had it out the front when it first came here, and this must be, God, 16, 17 years ago now. I had it out the front, and I don't know if you know a fellow called Craig McDonald. He runs CC McDonald Plumbing. He's a car guy. Lives out in Kingswood. And he's got cars coming out of his yin yang, but he saw the Daytona coupe up front one night, and I had to clean the drawer off the bloody windows. I mean, he just went gaga over it. So,
I can understand.
so that's why Craig and I are good friends now. And he's got a replica too that he's building.
Okay.
Not quite like that, very similar.
Cool.
So,
It's been great.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Appreciate it. It was great. It was awesome.
You're very welcome.
It was
As
awesome.
I say, we don't talk about much, but we like talking about cars.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I would never even know this was here unless.
Well, we
Doug's
don't
right.
advertise it.
Yeah,
So
it's nice to show though. I mean, people have got to see this stuff. Really, I mean, it's quite something else.
yeah, during the summer it's a bit better because there's more room in here and you can actually get around. But I try and cycle these cars every summer.
We're gonna have to get a tour going this summer where we go to come meet you and talk to
Well,
people.
that's
and you-
that's going to depend on this COVID thing, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah. Well, I mean, like
So-
we couldn't get a whole bunch of people. It'd be nice to have a little tour that we could go to your place and a couple other places and check out cars and
Yeah.
just have a great day, eat hot dogs and tell lies.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
that's not true.
Well, it is.
Well, it's something like that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
must find time in your busy schedule one of these days.
Come on here
too
for a
to
second, Joey.
go
Wanna
down.
show the-
I'll
show the
drive you
shop.
down there and,
Yeah, I'd like to.
We're just doing, he's got a hired mechanic and he's working on some of the classic cars, fixing them all up. He seems to be happy, he's smiling.
I'm smiling.
He's smiling, he's working on the right kind of cars. I really enjoy how clean the place is. And I like all his artwork that he has on the walls. He must have had Doug doing all the framing. But yeah, beautiful. Yeah, just quite something else. It's enjoyable to see all the cars and the passion that he has and how well he takes care of them. You know, very nice. Very nice. We're meeting some really cool people, you know, just through the car wheel. I think we are. Let's go take a look at the one at the showroom here for a minute. Huh? Couldn't ask much better for a graduate like this, eh? Beautiful. Just really nice stuff. I really think he likes rarity and carburation. The Jaguar and these AMX is really quite something else. I could drive that. I'd be very happy driving that. I guess that's what we call a rotisserie restoration. I like this. Don't touch the car, please. You know, it says so much. Don't touch the car. You're gonna get a nice sign up here. Jaguar sales. And these are the doors you look through, look into the shop. It's quite something. It's quite something. And we met this man through Doug, and John come with us, and just doing car stuff. The calibration on his desk is crazy. I'm gonna ask him about that. What does the calibration on your desk run?
That's off a 343 AMX. But the reason it's on my desk and not on
Because
the
it looks
car-
good.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
It's a marvelous paperweight.
Yeah.
But to put it on, I'd have to punch a hole in the hood.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that.
If you find no hood, I'll punch a hole for you.
Start really.
That's
Okay,
nice.
come through here, I'll show you that.
We
Oh,
kept it up. Then we went back to keep it.
See that stuff, that sort of stuff there, I really, really, really like, turns me on. Oh, wow.
That's what the buck looks like.
Oh, wow. It's a nice radio, sir. You are a enthusiast of this. Would you go to this now, would you? For that? No.
This is John, by the way. That's
Okay.
John Olsen. That's the car that mine's a replica of. That's the first one. It's got details differences like this piece that joins the two outlets together.
Yes.
The later cars didn't have it, trying to prevent them from running hot.
Okay.
And there was detail differences throughout the car, throughout the range of cars. But this is the only one that was built in North America.
Oh, that's here though. That's cool. There's two. Yeah, that's cool. Do you want to see the gun? Huh? That's just fantastic.
And this is John here.
Yes.
This is Daytona. Now, about 2 minutes after this picture was taken, John was under the car, and the bloody thing caught fire.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be married the following week. So there was a gendarme somewhere around here with a fire extinguisher or something. Anyway,
Put him out.
yeah, dragged John out from under the car because the whole back of the car was just totally engulfed in flames, and dragged John out. And of course, all the skin was burnt off his face and everything. So they postponed the wedding for a few weeks.
Till his skin grew
till
back.
he healed up a bit and looked a bit more presentable.
Wow.
But
Yeah, take nice wedding pictures that way, wouldn't you?
yeah, anyway, this is a sketch that Peter Brock did of the original coupe,
Yes.
and that's what he calls his napkin sketch. So anyway, that's what it evolved from.
Yes.
Let's see it better there. And he had a sort of a wing spoiler across the back, which they didn't have time to build, so the original car never had one.
Right on.
But I've had one put on that because I think it looks better.
Yeah. Where would you get something like this?
That there's a French American company. What do they call themselves? Five. Google it.
Little over the top die cast, isn't it? A
Um,
little over the top.
yeah, I thought they were quite impressive. I mean, even the small ones I thought were quite impressive.
I can obviously see that, but
But the big ones are even more so. I mean, this is 1/18th scale.
yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah, they do nice stuff. So I have a very narrow focus, as you can see. So it's either Daytona coupes, Australian Chrysler Chargers, Datsuns, or Jaguar XK120s.
Yeah, you're doing well.
That's it.
You're doing well.
Yeah, not interested in anything else.
I like your radio. Nice, very nice.
Yeah, I should plug it in. I suppose they work better, don't
It's
they?
a Crosley.
Yeah,
who
they
cares?
do some interesting stuff.
I have a Crosley radio at home.
Yeah, they make some neat stuff.
It looks like a dash of a car. The radio does.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
very
fun.
happy with that. Yeah, it's a cool little thing.
Anyway, that's the buck. That's
Yeah.
what my buck looks like.
That's what it looks like, just like that.
Yeah, just like
There's
that.
not much more to it than
I
that.
mean, it doesn't have wheels on it. My buck sits on casters, but yeah, that's all it is. Just a few wooden platforms.
Okay.
But you can see the wire around the wheel openings
Yeah.
and around the windshield openings.
We seen a buck at the Peterson Museum of Bugatti of Peter Mullins, and it was extraordinary amounts of work. The wood was. It was made of mahogany and it was gorgeous, but it seemed to be quite a bit more work because they were like the ribs were that far apart, and they were just
they can be very intricate.
Yeah, it
if
was-
if you look at some of the Italian ones,
yeah.
Christ, I mean, you could just about put an engine in it and drive away in it.
Okay. I've
But-
never ever tried to build a car of something like that, so I don't know. But I know that there must be a certain amount of work to make that, the wooden buck itself. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you have to count that on the work that you're putting into the car if you're making it.
Yeah, you need a good benefactor, a good sponsor.
Yeah, that's what I'm missing. That right there. Beautiful. Is this a
Thank
lamp
you
for a
very
bicycle?
much, Peter. That was quite a tour.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, you might
Appreciate
want,
it.
that's calcium chloride.
Yeah.
I think I've got that right. Bernie would straighten me out on it. It's a water drip feed. It's a lantern,
Yes, for light.
and you put the calcium chloride in the bottom,
Uh-huh.
and you drip feed water onto the calcium chloride. It creates a gas, acetylene,
Yes.
and you light the acetylene,
Yeah.
and it's what gives you the light.
Cool.
It's missing the reflector, of course, in the glass.
Cool.
But,
Got some nice cans out there. I see John checking them out. John's a can collector. Do you want to sell any of them cans?
no.
See, I asked for you, John. Which one you eyeing up, John? Which one you like the best?
I was just looking at them. Oh, wow.
Was any interest in?
Yeah, sure, thank you.
The lady did tell me the story behind it. She said she was covered in it.
Oh, really?
So I don't know where that was supposed to go.
Is that New Zealand sand?
No, it's not. It's I forget where she said she was. Anyway, you're welcome to it,
Yes,
John,
thank you.
if you want it.
Cool.
So here we are.
I mean, the spouts are good. Like, which one's the best one, John?
That's a unique one.
I like that stuff too, but it's hard to collect car parts.
Yeah, I'm not a huge collector of that stuff. I don't know.
You like John's collection? It's nice, very nice. You have to have respect for it when you see that much of it, and you have to check his stuff out.
Yeah, well, I'd like to.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, we'll have to arrange it. I mean, I like stuff like that. It's,
Anything that makes me happy, I like.
Yeah.
And if I don't make me happy, I want nothing to do with it.
they all have stories to tell.
They do.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my son. He's the best cow in the world. He'd work all day, but when the day's done, he'd kick the milk over. Huh? You know, he is. But that's the way it goes, right? And that's my story.
Yeah.
Best cow going.
But avoid kicking the bucket.
You gotta avoid kicking the bucket. To let your work talk for itself, do you not?
Yeah.
And you get people coming and putting cars in here for sale?
Yeah, occasionally. Not as much as we used to, but that board used to be.
We should start a site where you sell cars, and then that way you have first pick. Right?
Yeah, we don't get involved. Yeah, if we've got a customer with a nice car, that's the Daimler.
I'm just.
Chad.
Yes?
That's what a Daimler looks like.
I think I seen one on the show called The Guild. They had one there and they were trying to fix it up. He had bought it or something. He was going to resell it. But it was just an odd shaped. It has a Hemi in it?
Yeah, 2.5 litre V8 Hemi, designed by a fellow called Edward Turner,
Okay.
who designed the BSA motorcycle engine, which was also a pushrod Hemi.
Okay.
So they just transferred some of the engineering knowledge into the
I know what kind of car you're talking about though.
Yeah, that one is in Alberta somewhere.
This Elvis thing?
Yeah.
I picked up a crow or a bird at Bernie's place. I said, how much you want for that, Bernie? He said, that belongs on an Elvis. He said, you can't have it. So it was a bird or a crow or something?
Good cars.
Yeah? I never heard tell it, like Elvis is singing. But I don't know what the car is. Yeah, it was a good one, it was a bird. Yeah. I tried to buy it from him, he said, oh, it belongs on an Elvis. So
Yeah, the Elvis trademark was a red triangle. So they had a red triangle with the word Elvis.
okay.
And they're good-looking cars. In their day, they were very expensive cars.
There's so many manufacturers, I had no idea that they made cars or the name of them or whatever. But
Well, isn't it a sad commentary that now, all those manufacturers, they've all gone and they're all whittled down to half a dozen main players, and that's it. And they all look the same, they all work the same, they all behave the same. So we're all the losers for it.
yeah, it sort of goes that way, does it not? I had to think about what you were saying. I'm saying yes.
It certainly does, and it certainly has. So,
Yeah, like would you have 100 different cars back in the
oh,
40s or
it
50s?
was,
Way more than that?
oh yeah, it was endless.
They monopolized it.
There'd be a different car manufacturer on every street corner.
You would have had probably 30 in Canada alone. In fact, I had them in Nova Scotia at one time. Old carriage companies that got into building cars after horse and buggies. You know, they motorized them and things like Tuddup's in Aurelia. That was one place. All over the place.
Yeah. So
All right, on that note.
it is what it is.
Yeah, you let me know when you're available and I'll
It sounds.
I'll write it down there.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a bunch of interesting places.
Absolutely.
To visit.
Yeah.
So, well, let's hope this bloody COVID thing gets put away.
We're the best place in the world right now.
Yeah.
We're the best place in the world right now. We're number one.
Yeah, I think we're very fortunate.
And number one to me was different when I was a kid.
Okay.
Well, you're number one. But we're number one.
Thanks, Pete.
Okay,
See you
you're
later,
more
YouTubers.
than welcome.